What's good, YouTube? This your boy Jay here. We're about to present to you guys our first ever episode of Two Tall Talks. So there's two major disclaimers that I would like to inform you guys before you guys get into the video. Quick backstory. I took a trip over to Trey house so that we could record our first couple of videos. We went to go play basketball and I sustained a major eye injury. It was something in me that felt that if I wouldn't have recorded, oh, my eye hurt, then we probably wouldn't have never even started because I really needed him to get up off his ass. Our original plan was for us to just play it straight audio and send it through podcast, but I wanted him to venture off into editing videos a little bit more. I made the decision that we probably need to keep the video with this recording so that he could learn the ins and outs as far as editing. There were certain parts of the video where I'm rubbing my eye profusely. Now, those were the times that I was in excruciating pain. So off the strength of that alone, drop a like on the video because I wheeled my way for that first episode throughout the course of my eye going through strenuous pain. So without further ado, here's our first episode of Two Tall Talk, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you guys will be able to know when we upload our next. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Two Tall Talks here with Trey and Jay. I'm Jay. This is my boy Trey. We finally got the courage and just stop being lazy to finally get up and get this podcast going on. So what we want to bring to you guys is primarily just give you guys insight on a lot of music, a lot of sports analogy, a lot of things that our personal opinions, a lot of factual things that's going on in life, real life problems, a lot of things that you guys really wouldn't care to hear about, really wouldn't care to read about. We're here to bring you guys all of this. Ultimately, man, we're just going to get things started off with sports. There's a lot of things that, a lot of guys like to talk about. So one of our primary sports that we're going to cover today is basketball. So with the NBA being 2 weeks in, Trey, give the people your favorite NBA basketball team, and then I also want you to tell me about what do you like to see come from your team. What are your expectations from your team, and we could just go from there.
All right. So first off, my favorite team is Houston Rockets. Expectations is low. I'm a big Houston Rockets fan. However, I still feel like we're missing a couple pieces. Even though, this past weekend we went to a Rockets game, and they looked good, but there were certain spurts where it was like too many turnovers, erratic shots. But I think that comes with a young team. So I feel like right now the expectation, it's not playoffs or finals right now. Right now it's just growth. Trying to see if they can mesh together first.
Okay, so with you basically saying that your NBA team isn't going to be worth anything this upcoming year, tell me, what do you like? What have you seen thus far in the NBA that you like? Basically, if a team has been more consistent or if a team has been real unexpectedly bad, what is your insight on the NBA with it only being 2 weeks in?
2 weeks in, I feel like we can't really get a good gauge on where the season's going to be headed towards, just because, like a couple years back, this was still, up until like last week, the first week of the NBA was still considered preseason. So, a lot of them are still trying to get their legs, a lot of them still trying to get their rhythm, because most of the stars during preseason, they only play, 12, 15 minutes, and then once the season starts, they jumping in playing 30, 40 minutes. So, but I think right now the team that's surprising me, I don't want to sound like a bandwagon, anything, but it's got to be the Spurs. Just because even with Wemby starting the season the way he did, he cold. Like back-to-back games against KD, and you won both of them against a Phoenix team that is battle-tested and like real hoopers. Even though it would probably have been different if Bill was that second game around. I'm not sure how they would have looked with Bill playing, but even still, like, to go into, I think they was in Phoenix both games. I don't remember where they were at, but for them to take both games, that's impressive. and then he scored like 35 the second time. So he's gonna be a problem. So I think that's what surprised me the most. The team that's not performing up to what I think they could be playing at right now. Seems like every team really not really playing.
Especially the ones that was high caliber last year, with the
I think
exception
the
of
only
Denver.
one that's Denver, Boston been tearing folks up. I think they're undefeated right now. I think they 4-0 or 5-0 right now. So New York, they're not doing good this year, or so far.
I don't think they'll ever do good.
But the Knicks, I mean, they had that run last year, but I feel like there's still some kind of like tension because I just not too long ago was scrolling through Instagram and there's like a play where Brunson, well, first off, Brunson had 42 at this point in time. But I guess he took a shot that Randall didn't like, and Randall kind of just waved his hands and just walked back on defense. That's the type of stuff I don't like, bro. Like, y'all teammates, you could have took a dumb shot, but I'm pretty sure Brunson would have ran back on defense.
I'm to keep it a book. I really think that stuff like that, I'm not too big on just giving good analysis on people's personalities, but I kind of think that it's a little saltiness going on between the Randall and
Brunson.
because
Brunson
Randall been there before Brunson, right?
Yeah, he got there way before Brunson.
And he been here, because he been hooping this whole time that he has been there, and for Brunson to just come in and he
emerge last year.
and just do do a little that thing with when he was coming off the bench with Dallas, and he got this super big contract. So I don't know if that's kind of playing a part of him getting a big head, feeling like that he just need to be the guy of the team, but he can't be the guy of the team.
No.
There's no team. I don't know who said this. It might have been Gil, but somebody said that you cannot excel in the NBA if your point guard is the best player on your team.
Yeah.
And if Jalen Brunson got to be the best player on the team, then don't get me wrong, Randall do need to step it up too. But for the most part, if Brunson got to be your best player on the team, and you already on the Knicks as it is, you're not going to excel, bro. Like it's just no way.
Yeah. And I mean, even like I said, like at that point, dude got 40 points.
Yeah, you gotta let him go.
You the one that like I didn't check the score or anything for that game, but if you got 42, like come on, bro. Like I'm letting you have it.
Yes, bro.
Your ego gotta.
You gotta move.
Like I said, I didn't look at the stat sheet, so I'm not sure how Randall was shooting that night. I'm a firm believer in if that's the high hand, we going to it till it don't work no more. So
I feel it, but to Randall's defense, I could see why. I didn't see the shot, but if there was a possibility that it could have been a higher percentage shot taken somewhere else.
Yeah, it probably was. Cause
I think you should have had, especially with you being a point guard. Now, any other position, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not. And I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of point guards in the NBA that doesn't come up playing point guard. But
and I think that's the problem.
If you have to come up playing point guard, at some point you have to learn how to look at the floor, watch the floor, see the floor before you get to trying to do things on your own. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree. A lot of these folks that are put in, like the traditional point guard is non-existent anymore.
Basically.
You don't have the Rondo. CP3 is the last of a dying breed, honestly. You don't really have a lot of point guards. Like Russ is a willing passer. So we know a little bit insight on my favorite team and expectations and what I like so far in the season. What about you? What's your favorite team and what's your expectations?
Well, ironically, my favorite team is the Houston Rockets as well. I mean, I've been a fan since 2006 when T-Mac signed that dotted line to come to the team. And I've been a fan ever since. And I've never been the guy to just want to, even though I'm not from Houston, I can't possess myself to root for no other team other than the team that I've been rooting for a certain amount of time. Damn near 20 years of my life. So, yeah, but the expectations of them are very low. I honestly get to the point where I only maybe know 6 or 7 guys on the team now. I used to know front coach, water boy name, assistant coach name, but that's just how it goes. But I have good admiration for them. I really hope that they find themselves a decent enough player that can handle the pressures of having a team on their shoulders, because in all honesty, I kind of feel like their Green is not that. He's that road dog that that
He's a
guy that
second option.
he's a great second option. He been having the team to himself. He had the keys for what, maybe 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, 2 years.
And well, to me, it doesn't show like he's showing any type of progression as being a leader of a team. So yeah, they got to roll. But my personal opinion, you got to get rid of the owner. The owner, he's the mastermind behind all of this. Once they get rid of that guy and do a better job as far as managing and selecting their lottery picks, Houston Rockets gonna be all right. But as far as the NBA goes, my biggest surprise to me, and I'm gonna just be honest, my biggest surprise to me is the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies are 0-4 right now. The reason being is because it's actually putting into realization how much of an impact and an emphasis Dylan Brooks had on their team compared to, because when we went to the Houston game, he wasn't doing too much of anything, but you could literally see the impact that he was making, the deflections, the steals.
He was hitting them.
He was hitting, he was shooting the threes, he was doing everything that he said he was supposed. Well, I'm not gonna say supposed to do, but
he could do.
Yes, everything that he could do, he did it. He made the right extra passes. Dylan Brooks is actually a real decent glue guy for an NBA team, and I didn't notice that when he played with the Grizzlies.
I honestly feel like Memphis just gave him a bad rap, though, and I feel like they did him dirty by just getting rid of him. But of course, they didn't want to pay him either. So
I don't think it's that they didn't want to pay him. I just think it's just because of that whole publicity that he got against the LeBron. And, LeBron, he's the twinkle toes of the NBA. So, of course, with him being the great player that he is, he's going to get certain things you just can't do. And with you being the caliber player that Dylan Brooks was, he didn't have the right to be able to come at LeBron the way that he did, especially that playoff season. That basically makes me understand and see the importance of being a defensive pest on the NBA team. And that's what's really shocking me the most, because the times where Ja Morant wasn't playing with the Memphis Grizzlies, there were times where people were questioning whether they were a decent enough basketball team without Ja. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they was winning games against, I know they beat Golden State maybe once or twice without Ja.
They went on 8-game win streak?
Yeah, so it's the things like that. Now, of course, a lot of other things play in the factor when it comes down to it, especially with the other key players going, like Clark and Lil Roga, Adams and things like that. But ultimately, I'm very surprised with the personnel that they have and the people that they added. I'm surprised that the Memphis Grizzlies haven't won the game.
I do agree with you on Dylan Brooks. Like, that plays a big factor too. But I think another reason is because Steven Adams and Ja are out. So, you don't have nobody in the paint. Jaren Jackson, even though he's coming off a DPOY, but I haven't watched the game yet, but I feel like teams are probably just running in on them because they don't really have that type of protection. So even though I think, like you said, Dylan Brooks was a vital piece for that team, he was the energy and the glue guy for that team. I think another reason is because even without Ja, I feel like Steven Adams being hurt is the bigger impact for them right now. Because Triple J, he's an undersized big.
Very undersized.
Yeah, he's an undersized big. So I feel like that's what's playing a big part in them too. So
Well, my biggest surprise of the NBA, other than Wemby, because I'm very shocked on how he handling his thing too as a rookie. Well, that brings up a little side question. You think he might actually be the first rookie to win MVP?
Nah.
Since in a while, I know he's not the first, but since Magic,
I don't think he's gonna win MVP. Rookie of the year?
yeah, rookie of the year, he got it in.
He might get that.
I don't even care about that.
Scoot not doing what we
There
thought
was
he was going to
no
be.
question. Wemby was going to get Rookie of the Year no matter what. I think he got a shot.
Chet been balling too. Chet is eligible for Rookie of the Year this year because he missed his whole first year.
Yeah.
So right now, for me, it's probably between him and Chet, and they both pretty much the same player. One just got better handles. So, but MVP as a rookie, I don't think so because you still got Jokic, you still got Joel Embiid, you still got Tatum. Ja might even come back and
go crazy.
Well,
that's the only thing that I would say. Two things would really get Wemby the acceleration towards leaning to getting MVP is one. The boy's so cold, you could honestly barely remember anybody else on their team. That's one. So with him doing the things that I know the Spurs didn't win. I think they're maybe 2-2 now.
Yeah.
But if he develops as fast as his skill set is, because he's cold, like he can get the job done. But the effect of the season gonna play a part. His health gonna play the biggest part.
There's a big difference between here and France. So.
And I don't know. I think I more so would like for him to win MVP, just so it could be, something that I witnessed to see. But unless any of these other stars really do something spectacular, with the hype that this man got, he got the potential to get it off of that alone.
I won't say that he can't get it. I just think it's gonna be highly unlikely because, like I said, LeBron's still been.
Yeah, he's
still out here hooping.
And they'll give him one before they give Wemby one.
And especially with LeBron being year 21, so
38, damn near 40. So yeah,
and still playing at this caliber. Like, come on. So future's bright for him.
No, yeah.
I won't say that I feel like he can win one, but right now, this season, like the way things have been, I don't think so. Not right now. But then again, like I said, it's early in the season. So 2 weeks from now, I could be changing. We could be making another video, and I'll be like, yeah, bro, remember that question you asked me? I watched 2 games. I watched both Phoenix games, and I'm like, Jesus.
He different.
This man is like not
Especially
even really
that
jumping.
pass that he did under the goal. That was last.
Like IQ.
That was just something that I wanted to throw out there. I think Wemby got, I don't know. I might be falling for the hype or whatever, but it's just the things that he's been able to do at the height that he's doing it at. It's just been amazing to see. Like, dude is literally that perfect 2K my player that we all envision, having, that could be taller than everybody, that could dunk, that could shoot, that can dribble. That was just another question that I wanted to throw out there. But in regards to, I want to say my biggest surprise of the season thus far is how well Dame and Giannis are meshing together. I'm so glad and I'm so happy for Damian Lillard. It don't make no sense because he's finally being able to prove, and he's actually getting the opportunity to cement himself as one of the all-time greats by finally getting somebody that can accompany him in the hunger for wanting another championship. Like, I'm so glad for the Bucks. They don't make no sense. But I will still say that they need a couple of more pieces to get them the opportunity to compete with Boston. Because if Porzingis stay healthy, if Porzingis stay, because he's been hooping.
I watched that. I think I watched one game.
He's been hooping.
Yeah,
and
bro.
He's one of those. He's another one of those guys that was just derailed by injuries early in his career. But from what I've been seeing, he's also been one of them players that he needs a supporting cast to be able to excel at what he do, and he been doing that as well. But if he stays healthy, the Bucks can't miss them. Like, the only thing that'll probably get the Bucks to beating the Celtics is their drive and their hunger to win, because Dame and Giannis ain't gonna let them just beat them. But
And then when Middleton gets back too, so I mean, Middleton's been
Middleton,
hurt, but
I don't know. It's just something about Middleton
I
that just
think that's going to be an interesting aspect of this team when Middleton gets back. Like, how will they look? Like, because right now the ball is just going between Dame and Giannis. Middleton is still a good third option on that team. Well, he is the third option now on that team. He was the second option, but now he's bumped down to the third option. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they mesh together. Like, of course, his shots are probably gonna be cut down this year because they got another scorer on the team. Middleton is he's not athletic. He's mainly spot up corner type shooter. So it's gonna be interesting. So I feel like defensively they'll get Brook Lopez. Yeah. So and Brook Lopez is getting up there. But last year during the playoffs, he proved his worth though. So
he's a big body that can shoot. That's why he's in the league.
That's the goal of this league now is 5 and out. So they got a 5 out type team. Middleton coming back. It'll be interesting to see how they mesh together as a team. How they're gonna look then. Because right now they look crazy. They look phenomenal. I think Dame just had that one bad game and people were already ready to write him off. And I'm like, it's one game, bro. Like, game 2 of the season. He's trying to get his legs.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I'm ready to see how the NBA is going to pan out. Because there's a lot of hooping teams out there. There's a lot of boys that's hungry, especially with this little play-in going on. I think it's going to be, a lot of people that was just at that maybe middle tier, that subpar tier in the NBA level. I think this is going to be the season that can accelerate them towards being the future of the NBA because you got to think Westbrook almost out of there. All of our hoopers, all of the hoopers that has been in the NBA and solidifying the NBA for maybe 15 years plus is almost out the door. Westbrook, KD, Braun, the list just goes on. Like it's so many.
That might be.
That might be
That
it
might
for real.
be
Cause we
it.
done had a lot of people retire the last 4 or 5 too.
LeBron last of his class, so
He's a young.
so
That's
I've been
crazy.
watching LeBron since high school, since I was in high school.
And that's crazy.
So
let's switch things over to music. You gotta know who the Migos are. You can't listen to music if you don't know who the Migos are. We have come up on the year anniversary of the loss of Takeoff, with us now getting a solo project from both Quavo and Offset. First, I want to know, where do you think both Quavo and Offset's career could possibly go? And also, do you think that there's any type of chance or possibility for them to give us one more cohesive project?
so both of them gave us great solo albums. So with that, of course, I lean more towards Quavo's album because I feel like it was a little bit more personable, and because how close him and Takeoff were. So me, I go for more of a more personal type feel for an album. Of course, Offset had a couple tracks on there where he's talking about the situation and how it affected him, but it seemed like that whole album with Quavo, you could like feel his hurt from track to track, and you could feel Takeoff's influence on that album as well. But the future's bright for both of them. I mean, the Migos were like the hottest thing out there. Like Quavo, not only from production to his singles that he was putting out here and there, and Offset from his flow, and just everything, charisma, all that was Offset. So as far as them coming together to make another Migos album, I highly doubt it. We might get a couple tracks, features here and there, but I don't feel like without Takeoff, I don't feel like they're gonna be comfortable enough to make that happen.
I personally feel that I like Offset's project more because I've always been an Offset fan. I've always felt like the Offset was the better lyricist amongst the two.
I always thought Takeoff was
Well,
the
see,
better lyricist.
Takeoff was the better lyricist, but I don't know. I've always been a fan of Offset's flow and his style. And when it comes down to, personal feels like you stated, I don't know. It just seemed, it was one point in time where Offset was the worst Migo. And,
Yes, I agree.
and to see his progression to where he is now
He
compared
most
to
definitely
where
got
he
better.
was, I feel like that was just, it just took him a while to unlock his inner potential.
Yeah.
And the ceiling is high for him. I feel like Quavo's stuck. He reached his ceiling.
You think so?
He doesn't. Now, his last two singles, the Turn Your Click Up, the one with him and Future, and actually that album that him and Takeoff dropped before he passed, the Quavo was doing his thing on there.
Yeah,
He's getting better too, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Quavo, he's always been that highly, sought after guy because he was on so many features and all of that. And I think that's what's going to give him the leeway as far as probably having a better music career because he got some features and all. He was singing on everybody's hooks.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Quavo is more so. He was always the melodies, the hook guy.
It's gonna keep him in the game.
Yeah, that's gonna keep him in the game a long time. Plus, if you writing hooks and melodies for people too, that's gonna keep you in the game. So, and he's a producer. That's gonna keep him in the game a long time. So, yeah, I agree. I think he's met his ceiling, and Offset is only up because, like you said, at one point in time, Offset was the worst Migo.
And as far as a collab album, I think it's just gonna get to one point where it's gonna be one album. Because it was one point where these guys were broke. So whatever album it is that pushed them over the top, whatever yearly anniversary of that album, they gotta just give us just one more collab. It ain't even necessarily gotta have Takeoff in it. I just would like to have Quavo and Offset on a collab. Well, I'm gonna say this: I would rather for it to be later on because I give them time to reach their pinnacle,
Get their own
and
identities
then once
right
they finally get to their pinnacle that they want to reach, then they just gone.
I feel you. They could give us like like Andre and Big Boy did, the speaker box love below type thing.
They could.
One half is,
That'd be dope too.
That
Music
would
back
be,
then was different.
Yeah,
I remember they used to have to get one, and I used to have to save my bread to wait the next week to get the other one. So I bought Andre's first because I'm an Andre 3000 fan.
I bought the big junk where it came with both of them.
Oh no, I had to get them singly, but I got them both. But I went for Andre's first. I liked it. But so we can't talk about music without it associating or affiliating Drake in some type of way because he's been clearly one of the biggest icons when it comes down to this and topics when it comes down to this for a long time. So with his recent release of his newest album, For All the Dogs, with it being almost a month of the For All the Dogs release, I would like to know what is your full take on the album. How do you honestly feel about For All the Dogs?
It's not his worst, but it is not his best. When it comes to this Drake album, you don't hear that inspiration that to get in the booth and record. A lot of this album, I felt like he was just trying to attach to a young artist that's buzzing and popping right now. Like the fact that Yeet song is like probably like the number one song on his album right now is crazy to me. It was Butt. That song was Butt. it was maybe out of what? It was like what, 22 tracks on that album? 22 tracks.
22, I think 23. But it was an interlude on there, so yeah,
so
22.
Out of 20 tracks, there was probably 2 great songs and 3 okay songs. Drake has reached the point where he doesn't have to make music no more. He's getting to the point where it's like kind of like that Jay-Z status. Even though Jay-Z still makes, to me, great content. You know, with 444, I just don't. I would like to see Drake with grown-up bars, because you see it from like the Nas, the Jay-Z, how they've progressed in their content. When it comes to Drake, he's talking about the same stuff. Like Rick Ross, elevated. Like grown up bars, like of course it's cool. Like I don't disagree. Well, I don't.
But at the same time, not to interrupt you, bro.
No, you good.
Your boy only 35.
Only 35?
I'm just saying, the grown-up bars that you referring to from everybody that you just named and stated are older guys. Everybody that was in that. When Jay-Z dropped 444, I know he was about at least 40.
But when he dropped American Gangster, he was about 38 maybe. So I'm not saying that so he has to like just completely change up. I just like more elegant rap. I would like a little bit more elegant raps from Drake right now.
Understood.
Like I don't care, like the club hits, cool. Like I'm down for it because he can make a banger. Like I want a couple bangers from Drake, but I also want to hear about. Now I can't say relatable because ain't none of us fucking relatable to Drake. But a lot more like insight into like real world stuff. That's one, and that's what we used to like about Drake. He used to talk about real world stuff like that, like him talking about he a gangster on this album. I'm like, bruh, come on now, dog. Like you may got some ties, but you ain't the G though. Like, and it was just there was a couple tracks where it would start off amazing, and then like the beat switch would ruin it. And then he'll start talking about some stuff. I'm like, bro, like, what are we talking about?
Unnecessary singing.
Yeah, unnecessary singing, long talking segments. I was like, bro, like, come on now. But like I said, yeah, two great tracks, 3 okay tracks, and I'm still baffled that "Tried Our Best" is not the #1 song on there, because that was the or even First Person Shooter, like that's not even the #1 song on that album right now. So, and to be clear, I know J. Cole's he's been downplaying this, but he watched Drake on that song. He just did an interview with Yachty where he was talking about something like he wasn't going for Drake's neck. I was like, bruh. Drake had to come back and put a verse on that, because
I know that. It ain't no way. Like, if you're a rapper, especially if you're on the level that you are, especially J. Cole, and you get on a track of a person of the caliber of Drake, your natural mindset, you're gonna have to slaughter it.
Exactly.
Like,
because I'm a feature.
Yeah, it's like it's no other way to do it. So he can kill me. He missed me with that humble shit. I like Cole to go after people now.
But yeah, like I said, it's not the worst album. Drake hasn't really put out a good album, in my opinion, since Nothing Was to Say.
Damn.
And that was the last time that I could press play and listen front to back without skipping anything from Drake.
Do you think that this is a possible start of a decline?
I won't say a decline. I feel like eventually he's going to elevate his bars, just because he is getting older. So I won't say it's a decline right now. I feel like he's just trying to stay relevant. He's trying to stay relevant. And quite honestly, I don't see... We probably got 2 or 3 more Drake albums, I feel like. I feel like he's going to branch off from music like most of them do, and drop a couple surprise albums here and there, like like you said, like the Nas and Jay Z do, because Jay Z dropped one every. It seemed like almost every other 20 years, but I don't see it as a decline of Drake.
Well, a lot of times when you try to stay relevant, it could be because it comes from a decline.
I mean, you're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong.
My personal insight on it is the worst Drake album that could have ever been released ever in life.
Worse than More Life?
I fuck with More Life.
You did?
I love More Life. More Life got about 7 to 8 tracks on More Life. I bumped like
that's not even half though. I mean, I get 8 I can't
go. I can't go based off of when people drop an album. I don't necessarily go. Your album is trash because you gave me 55 songs and I only like 4.
Okay, I got
it's not like that with me.
I got you.
With me, I'm a picky person when it comes down to my music taste. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, I will listen to any and everybody. I have a mixture of any and everybody in my phone.
Tell me about it.
But when it comes down to the certain guys, I expect a certain sound from you no matter what. I don't give a damn what you're trying to do to stay relevant or anything of that nature, because those are the tracks to me are the ones I'm going to skip anyway. Mm-hmm. Like if you give me a track when you on these drill beats and then you give me one with Sexy Red and you give me one and like I feel you, bro. Do what you gotta do. Besides Blueface, internet wise, Sexy Red is probably one of the most popular artists there is right now. Yeah. I mean, past the Tory getting locked up, talking longer than that. Even 6ix9ine, 2 headlines came out about 6ix9ine last week.
Don't
nobody give a fuck. She on stage twerking, pregnant with that pregnant belly, sweeping the nation. So it's like, yeah, Drake, do what you gotta do, but at the same time, you still got those fans that was there rocking with you when you was YMCMB and when you was just trying to come in the game, Young Money and. Hell, when you was rolling in your motherfucking wheelchair on the grass.
So you more so you're not with experimental rap, kind of, so I guess.
I'm all for experimental rap, but you got to do it to the point where it fits my listening preference.
Which understands now, I understand why you're not pretty much a big Kendrick fan like I am. Because I'm a big Kendrick fan, and that kind of makes sense now. Now that you say that,
it's not even with that, because with Kendrick, it's a whole different story between me and Kendrick. Because first, when Kendrick got high, what were the years that Kendrick Lamar was like first started to propel? You're a fan, so you know.
2011.
2010, 2011. Around 2010, 2011. I was still bumping J. Cole. This was around Wayne at his peak. Mm-hmm. So I can say that with Kendrick Lamar, he literally, like, he has my respect now. I didn't like him at first, but his greatness kind of got flushed out through me because of everybody else that I was focusing my listening to. Because you gotta think, I'm still in the hood and shit. Yeah. So I'm still got Gucci Mane dropping every other week. I still got Future dropping every other week.
Gotti dropping.
Yo Gotti. Who else was hot back then? 2010. Like, we still got all of these guys dropping music. Waka Flocka and shit. Because he had his time too. So we got those people dropping, and then we turn around, and then we got the more sophisticated rappers that I personally listen to, because I know around 2010, not even just to name some of the hottest albums, but I think Ludacris released Therapy dropped. What was that? 2012, 2011?
2012,
yeah. So it's that on top of the guys that was emerging, on top of the guys that was still kind of dropping these albums here and there. I couldn't even focus on Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. That's what kept me from listening to Kendrick Lamar and actually catching his greatness. But I was still catching little bitty spurts. And that's what made me overall, eventually, get to a point where, okay, Kendrick drop, I give him a listen. Because that verse that he had on, what was the name of that Drake album? That I thought it was Drake for years until somebody told me it was Kendrick Lamar. Take Care. On Take Care. When Kendrick Lamar did the interlude, I never knew that was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. I think he purposely tried to use like a Drake kind of flow and kind of emulated his voice.
But whatever he did,
I knew it was Kendrick.
I thought it was Drake this entire time, and then it took for me to actually re-download the album on iPhone because when it dropped, it came out as a disc. So I got the disc, and Kendrick's name isn't on the disc. Okay. So once it got to the point where it got on Apple and it said feature Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, what the fuck? Played it. It was there. So I was like, oh, well, yeah, I think I saw Kendrick. And then, his other little verses, like on Members back then and shit like that. Yeah, I fuck with Kendrick.
There's a long list of Kendrick songs that we're going to say that for another video.
So I would like to thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out. We're going to make the valiant effort to get you guys nice and steady content. We're going to try our best to give you guys content so you guys can tune in every single week. But this was Two Tall Talks with Trey and Jay. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that notification bell. Because when we do drop our new content, you guys will be the first to know. So, there's my boy Trey. I'm Jay. I'll get up with you guys on the next episode. Thank you.
Peace.